In today's lesson, we will draw a three-dimensional cake. You will need a pencil, paper, and some crayons. First, you're going to draw an oval on your paper. Draw this with pencil so that you can erase any mistakes that you make until you get the oval to the shape that you want. Next, you're going to draw a vertical line on either side of the cake. You can decide how tall or how short your cake is by how long the lines are. If you make your line longer, that would be a taller cake. If you make it shorter, that would be a shorter cake. This cake is a medium cake. Now draw a curved line along the bottom of the cake to match the curve you made on the top of the cake. Great job! Now we're going to add some marks to help us make a slice in our cake. First, make a dot in the middle of the top of the cake. Make a second dot right about there, and a dot here, 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 and here. Now we're going to connect some of our dots. Connect these two dots and these two dots. And now you should have a triangle. Connect these two dots and these two dots, and you should have another triangular shape. Now we're going to make some straight lines. Make a straight line from one dot to the other in the middle, and one dot to the other on either side. Erase the extra lines. Great, now we have a slice taken out of our cake. Now we can add some filling to our cake. To do that, draw a line in the middle that follows the same angle you made for the top and bottom lines. So your lines should follow the lines you made to make the triangles the same angle. Match them up so that they're going in the same direction to make your filling. Great job! Now you might want to add some decorative frosting to your cake. Add some frosting around the top of the cake. Erase any marks you don't need. Add some decorative frosting to the bottom of the cake. It wraps around the back. You might also want to add another area of frosting. Sometimes this frosting in the middle. You can add your frosting to the middle of the cake as well. Again, erase any marks that you don't need. Now you're going to want to add a plate underneath your cake. Start at one side, draw an oval, go to the other side, and then finish your oval. If you made any mistakes, you can make your corrections with an eraser. Some plates have a rim. You can draw a rim on your cake. The rim usually gets a little bit skinnier near the back. Make any corrections you need to using your eraser. Great, now our cake is done. Let's add a line to show where the wall is separate from the table. So now I have my table and my wall. Great job on your drawing. It's time to add some color. Color is really going to make this look like a three-dimensional realistic cake. Let's start with the filling. I'm going to make my filling chocolate. So I'm going to use my brown crayon. And this filling inside the cake is going to be a bit in shadow. So I'm going to start by coloring it all in, the same amount of pressure with the brown crayon. Now, I also want to show that part of this is going to be darker because it's not going to be receiving as much light. The light is coming from the right-hand side, so the part that's being blocked by the rest of the cake, this part here, is going to be darker in value. So I'm going to go back in with the brown crayon and really darken it up, put more pressure on that crayon to get a nice dark brown to show that that part has some shadow. Wow, already that's looking more 3D, more like a realistic three-dimensional cake. Now I'm going to start with my frosting color. I'm going to use pink for my frosting and color all of the base frosting lightly with the pink crayon. I'm also going to color my filling in with the same pink crayon. Did you know that pink is also called light red? Because pink is also called light red, I can use red to add some darker values to the pink frosting. So again, the light's coming from the right hand side, so we're going to color in the filling where it's in shadow with some red on top to show that it is darker. It is a darker value. Then I can go back on top of that with the pink and really blend it together. Alright, so my light is hitting the right side of the cake. The left side of the cake is going to be more shadow. So that's going to go again with some of that red crayon, coloring on top of what I already colored pink. And I'm going to make sure I color it a little bit darker towards the left side of the cake, and then a little bit lighter as it gets closer to the middle. And then I'm going to go on top of it with the pink to really blend it in. I'm going to add a little bit more red to this side of the cake, just where it's turning away from the light, and blend that in with the pink. I can also take my white crayon and go over the top of the cake where the light's hitting it the most. This is going to make that pink even lighter, an even lighter value. Our cake is looking really great so far. Now it's time to add our decorative frosting. I'm starting with light green for mine. So color in all of the decorative frosting with the light green or whatever color that you are choosing. Great. So now, just like I did with the pink, I can use a darker green with the light green to show the shadow. blend it in with the lighter green. And on the top, I can go back in with the white where the light is hitting the cake on the top. The green should be the lightest value. And there might be a little bit of a shadow just underneath the frosting, so I can go back in with the darker green to add that shadow just on the bottom edge of the frosting. Okay, now it's time to color in the plate. I'm going to use 2 shades of blue, a lighter blue, and a darker blue. I'm going to start by coloring in the entire plate with the lighter blue. Alright, and then switching to the darker blue, I'm going to start by filling in where I see a shadow, or where there would be a shadow in this cake. So in between the cut slice is definitely going to have a shadow, and then the cake itself is going to cast a shadow across the plate, and we're going to fill that in with the darker blue crayon. Now don't forget we had a rim on our plate, so we can go back in and add that rim again with the dark blue crayon. And I can use the white where the plate would be lighter. So blending in on the lighter part of the plate with that white crayon to show where the light would be hitting the plate. Now we're ready to color our background. I'm going to color my wall yellow and my table red-violet. Here I go. Great job making a 3D cake.